be able to hit it. This is the Rushmore Show, where you're all about your top four and nothing more. Andy, there's a whole lot more going on today. Man, it is middle October. It's cold. I finally got the beanies out in here in Georgia. Man, I got my daughters playing first round playoffs right now in Carrollton, which is a little north. They split yesterday, so it's a winner take all today to move to the second round. They're up 12-6. Carson's up in about 30 seconds. So I might have to check out here in a second. But Cannon's footballing right now. Had a run here, so we're right on time. Real life is in the house. Rips and Brews. That's our guests tonight. Mr. P, that's me. You know that. And that's for all my teachers. But, yeah, man, I'm excited about tonight. We're back on a basketball, man. We haven't done basketball in a minute, and basketball always did well for us when we did it. And this is going to be an exciting show. What you got?
I'm excited for this one, man. We're talking about Dunkaroos. We're talking about Dunkin' Chic.
Oreo cookies.
Right Dunk. I don't.
Breadsticks.
Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
The great one.
I'll also say this. We missed basketball a couple of years ago because we did baseball. Then we did basketball, and then we decided to combine them all together and just make one sports month or sports series here in the September-October time. And, man, it is baseball all over my house, bro. Got softball, baseball. Cannon finished his season yesterday, going to the playoffs as a second seed. And then watching the playoffs right now in the MLB, that's a big deal over in our house. So we're excited about baseball as well. But basketball just started. My Pelicans aren't doing good. Well, our Pelicans, I guess, Andy, because you're a Pelicans fan too, right? They're not starting off great, but never, as far as basketball goes, this is why I love this topic tonight. I've never been like die hard for a team, if you know what I mean. Like, it's always been players, right? Jordan era, Kobe, Shaq era, now LeBron and Kevin Durant era, that kind of thing. Steph Curry, all these different eras of basketball. I really followed players. And it was really awesome when the Pelicans came to town. But the Pelicans, even when they were the Hornets, they've only made the playoffs a handful of times. They've never been really fantastic. Mm-hmm. But they always get us with the number one pick. Oh, we got this next guy. And then, he doesn't pan out. He goes somewhere else, wins a championship type thing. Well,
but this is the year. Yeah. This is the year.
Is this it? Is this the year?
This is the year. I'm feeling it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Carson's up the bat. She can really whack. You know what I'm saying? Carson's up, man. So, Andy, what do you think about basketball so I can watch this?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited for it. I'm a fan specifically of the dunks, right? This is going to be a fun night here tonight. The entertainment value of that. Is Carson up? She's up to bat?
Yeah, she's up. Here comes.
We got live sports happening on the Rushmore.
Live on a live. All one. Oh, no, that's a strike. 0-1. Yeah, so we're going to do Duncan. Now, look, here's one thing. I don't like Tim Duncan. Just thought about that. But anyways, Duncan. Many of us could go NBA, but there are some others outside the NBA that I even thought about pulling, and they're in my list, but I probably ain't grabbing them.
I think I like college basketball better than NBA, though. It's a lot. It's
always March Madness. Madness is fantastic.
You don't get a feeling.
Yeah. Well, let's get our guests on here. Let's get this steamroller moving. Oh, she's going to walk again. She got intentionally walked the last two times, which is fantastic.
Barry Bonds of Georgia softball.
Dude, yeah, she got intentionally walked with the tie and run at third, and then she got intentionally walked with the go-ahead run at second and third. So now she's getting a swing. We'll see what happens. Man, let's get it.
What are we getting?
Let's get this show on the road. I haven't done that yet because I'm watching Carson. But here we go.
If you're Rushmore, I got it.
Rushmore of dunkers. I'm hitting it. Don't hit it.
Hey, real quick, I want to address this.
This thing on the road. She's 2-2. It's still going, man.
I want to address this real quick before we bring our guests on. Real quick, real life, you said it. Did you get that mess cleaned up from the kids' TP in your truck? It's going to take a while.
Dude, really that was hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't notice it till this morning. But the rest, I mean, a lot of my neighborhood.
Did you drive all the way to work with all that toilet paper in there?
So, funny story. I did drive, and I forgot.
For those that aren't from South Louisiana or places that do this,
I think everyone does this.
No, it isn't a tradition everywhere. There might be a tradition of some of the people watching, but I know I've brought it up in my travels, and people are like, "What?
Hey, your house TV is not a nationwide thing."
Well, yeah, rolling houses is a tradition. For what we do it the way, it's not. So it is
He's frozen in suspense. I don't know if he's frozen on y'all's end, but he's frozen on my end. And I'll just say this. There he is. He's kind of coming back. We have what's called White Wednesday, which we're actually
just an RBI single, just to let you know.
Oh, you're so excited.
Boom. Hey, so yeah, go tell him.
I was just saying, we're both wearing white, maybe unintentionally, but we have here called White Wednesday, where the high schoolers, during their homecoming week on that Wednesday, they go and TP the houses of well-respected individuals, right? Maybe people that are their teachers, maybe people that are their family friends. I don't know, something that has to do with
it. Started out as like, we're going to get all our teachers.
Yeah.
But then it was like, let's go get our best friends. And now there are people in our school and it's like, oh man, I didn't get my house rolled last night. You know, you have zero friends when you didn't get rolled last night. You have zero friends.
Because on my page, I didn't get rolled, but there was a roll of toilet paper intact.
One
in the bed of my truck. Roll of toilet paper in the bed of my truck. But here's the funny story. I forgot about it, and I drove. I was driving all around today, and I got on the interstate, and like a white tail, the whole thing unraveled. Went on these cars behind me. I felt so bad. So I actually TP'd a couple cars on the interstate today. So there you go.
Yeah. So I mean, we used to get shirts. COVID, all the toilet paper's gone. Toilet paper's gone every football season in our town. It's gone. Like, you have to go everywhere to find it because every Wednesday is a different high school rolling houses. So every Wednesday. Then they got the old maid, they're going to sit out with their shotgun. Don't roll my yard, that kind of thing. But like, we welcome it. But yeah, fun stuff. All
right. Well, let's not delay any longer. Kirk, what we got going on tonight?
I mean, we're a good 8 minutes in and haven't even said our guest yet. Hey, so I speak about this all the time. I probably got to hand some wrenches out once this game is over and I get on my phone. We'll hand some wrenches out. But welcome to the show, everybody that's out there. And you make sure you spam the like and all that. But here's the deal. We've been growing our community by jumping from lives to lives. And all these different lives have met new people, which meant new communities, which have connected to the other people's communities. For instance, like Trumpet, we met through real life, we met through our guest, we met through Keith, and Keith, we met at the convention. So it's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon here and separation. How we found these guys, and these guys having a fantastic couple shows, actually. And I'm all you guys out there, all 7s of you, go and subscribe and like to them. Let's welcome to the show Vintage Sport Flips and King of Penance, who do 2 shows, Vintage Sport Flips and Rips and Bruce, to the show. This is Keith and Andy.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having us, man. Appreciate it.
So
sorry to keep it waiting.
I've been watching for a couple of months now, guys, and I have to ask. So, Andy, you're a Detroit like everything fan, and I've kind of asked in the comments, but I haven't got the full story. You are in like the Philly area like he is, so I'm sure. How did the Detroit thing come about?
So I'm actually, I moved away. So we grew up together. Keith and I grew up outside of Philly, but I actually live now in between. like Baltimore and DC.
Okay.
But the reason I got into Detroit was my whole family's from Detroit, and not Detroit, but all of Michigan, really. So I was the only person in my family that was born outside of Michigan. And of course, I now turned into the biggest Detroit sports fan in my family. So yeah, kind of got passed down from generation. And it was a tough 20, 30, 40 years for me, actually.
Well, football wise, but I mean, a couple, not like in the far distant future or past, you had the Pistons that were fairly decent for several years.
Yeah.
Right?
89 and 90. Yeah.
Hockey's always been good out that way. I see you wearing the shirt. Hockey's always really good that direction. And are you Wolverines guy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I'm a Wolverines
and
over
on top of the college at least for a few more months. So I mean, there's some good sports out that way. Now, Detroit baseball was in the playoffs this year.
We made a run, yeah, it was pretty crazy. But
Scooble's a fantastic player. He's going to keep y'all going. And okay, so like that's Andy background. Keith, you are into flipping. Both you guys are into flipping, like sports memorabilia.
Yep.
But that's kind of how we found you guys. But your favorite is kind of the Philly area. I see you follow a lot of the Philly stuff. Yep. And he's got guys, if you're out there, if you like purchasing sports things, they both have like whatnots and all those kind of things where they're selling some really good stuff. And their whole show, Vintage Sport Flips, is kind of promoting that in between a draft style like we do, which is really fun. And I've won a few decks of cards over there, or packs of cards over there, and had some fun and opened those with Canon. But yes, Keith, tell us about you, man. Tell us what's up with all the sports memorabilia. I love watching your wife try and guess it. That's fun. That's fun stuff. But tell us all about that.
She hates it. I'll say she's not a fan. She's not a fan of anything vintage. But Andy can confirm this. I'm like a collector at heart. I've been collecting for 25 years. I have like right next over here is an Eagles room. It's like loaded with everything you can imagine Eagles. But I wanted to build my collection. I started to resell like 20 years ago. So everything in here, or at least over here, is for sale. So I started becoming, I still have a full-time job, but pretty much a full-time reseller on top of it, delving into vintage memorabilia. So and that's how I built the channel around that.
And you're a veterinarian, aren't you?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. So I attempted veterinary school for one semester, and then Hurricane Katrina wiped out basically most of New Orleans. And I was going to the University of New Orleans. And I was like, this is like an 8-year degree plus, because I'm not going to do it in 6 or 7 or even 8 on the dot. I'm probably a 9 or 10 guy, and I'm already putting us back another 2 years. I would like to be have a job before I'm 50. So I decided to back out of it and went a different direction, which ended up into nursing school, which led me into ministry school, where this is kind of all kind of panned out. So I'm down with the veterinary thing. I worked actually as a while I was doing that, I worked at a veterinarian, which was also a Labrador rescue, and they had lots of kind of kennels with labs, and I would go and take care of. I was kind of like the person that took care of all the dogs every day. Like I would show up early in the morning and feed them, and come back late, and did that while I was going through school for a little bit. So that's kind of fun stuff, man. I was excited when I heard that, and I was like, man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a great job. I mean, you get a little burned out at times with it. I mean, I'm doing it over 20 years now, but it's still, it's always
curious how long you had been doing it.
Yeah.
Well, man, let's first off, let's just do this. We need to know who goes first. Andy, did you figure that out, Andy?
I was going to let him rock, paper, scissors on live TV for it.
Oh, man, whatever you guys want to do. I need to know who wants to go first today.
One and done, unless somebody wants to concede.
You want to go first, Andy?
I never want to concede, so I'm sure I'll go first.
Andy will go first. So Andy will go first. Here's the thing. Before we do that, just in case some of our friends have to go, where can they find you guys? And then we'll also have you guys at the end kind of chat all about your pages. Where can they find you? What do you got going on? And then we'll get the show going.
Sure. So my main channel, Vintage Sport Flips, it's a memorabilia picking channel. I put videos out every Saturday. But we also have a live podcast on that channel Wednesday nights called Pastime Picks Podcast, which is what Kirk was talking about. He won some of our giveaways.
There it is, Pastime Picks. I was trying to figure out what the other channel was. I was like, gosh, I know there's a third channel in this thing.
Yeah, we do have a third channel, but we don't really, it's not really that active. Most of those videos are always put out on my regular channel, Vintage Sport Flips. So definitely come over, check us out on Wednesday nights if you want to have some fun.
Wednesday nights is a blast. And Andy, you don't have a specific channel to yourself, right? You just have like a business yourself, right?
Yes. I mean, I don't, we kind of bought together a large stock of pennants. So that's kind of my introduction into reselling. But we also have another, so that's Keith's channel. We also have a kind of a channel that we do together called Rips and Brews, which is beer tasting and card chasing. So basically it's just an excuse to drink beer and to open cards, which, now, what's better than that?
And let's just get this out on the table. Andy and I are both over 10 years sober now. I think, Andy, you're over 10, right?
I'm right
at 10, and I am almost 14. But if this channel would have come out 15 years ago, I would have been your biggest fan. And I still am a huge fan. I watch it all the time. But, man, 15 years ago, I would have been all over some ripping cards and drinking craft beers.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been all over that. But so everybody go follow, like, subscribe. We're still in this inning. We are trucking along, bases loaded. Once this is done, anybody that's out there, first off, I know some of you guys are over on Keith and Andy's page. We'd love for you to come and visit and hang out over at ours, and vice versa. Our guys go over to yours and kind of just build the community. But if you are here, I would love to just say hello and give you guys what we consider a welcome to the Summit Squad. Here you go. So this is how the show works. We're going to do kind of a fun draft style, not exactly like Keith and Andy do it, but a little different. We're going to draft our top 4. I know they usually go a 5, and it's an actual draft. We're going to do some draft style later. Here's the cool thing. We can match in our first round. We can have the same exact 4 because we're going to give our 4 favorites. What we figured is the Rushmore shouldn't necessarily be the GOATs. The talking heads in sports always say that, Tom Brady's the GOAT and Michael Jordan's the GOAT, LeBron James, all these conversations. But what we've come to realize is Tom Brady's only your GOAT if you are a Patriots guy, you are not a Giants or an Eagles guy or any of that. We don't like, you don't like them because they kept winning, right? And that's the same with any sport. So what we figure is the Rushmore is something a little bit more like what we think is our top 4 is a little more personal. So if you hang out, being a part of the Summit Squad, you can drop in the comments your 4 favorite as we go. You can go 4, 3, 2, 1 like we do. Or if you want to head on out anytime during the show, we'd love for you to hang out the whole time. But you leave your top 4 before you go. And every time you stop by, always before you leave, say hello and give us your 4 favorites of whatever topic we're chatting. We're in the sports. We're about to move. We got 2 left before food. So, Andy, you decided to go first. This is kind of how we do it. We tell why we pick these because it's your favorite, not necessarily the 4 GOATs. Mm-hmm. So why would you pick these 4 guys without giving anything away? And then we'll jump into the first one, which is Rosie for Roosevelt. We consider him the 4th best president on the mountain, which it's kind of partial to just a quick conversation we had. And it's been argued several times that he should be moved up. But you're going to go first. So, Andy, you're up first. And tell us what your criteria is. Who were you thinking? And then we'll jump in.
So, I mean, I think when I was kind of formulating my, top 4, I was really trying to think, like, who like, I love to watch. And, I can't say that these are the best. They probably are very close, I think. But for me, it was kind of something that I remember growing up, certainly during like the dunk contests of I guess it was probably 80s and 90s and stuff. That's really when I kind of really honed in on kind of when they first came out. So that's kind of how I looked at it. I do have a few on there too that I think, or not a few, but I have some that maybe I thought were really good in a non-dunk contest setting and more of like a game setting. So that was kind of my criteria, really, who I remember growing up for the most part, and then like kind of really moved me, I guess, so to speak, when they were dunking and thought they were amazing. So
that sounds absolutely perfect. That's kind of where my criteria is gonna lean a little bit. I got a couple more wrinkles in there, if you will. So this is Roosevelt. Rosie is number 1 or number 4, but first one we talk about. Who is your first one on the list? And just kind of tell us a little bit why. Why would you pick him?
Okay. So, my number 4, somebody I kind of I guess caught the tail end of, but kind of growing up in Philly and sort of seeing this, it's Dr. J. And he was just kind of this guy. He really, I think he was in maybe a few dunk contests in the very early stages of when they started. But, there's just some iconic dunks that he had, like kind of when he did that one that behind the rim kind of came on the other side. So I think part of it is the fact, and he was a really good dunker kind of in game too. He was really one of the first high flyers. There's a few maybe before him, but I think he's probably the first high flyer that was really known for dunking. So, and growing up, I saw him a lot and really wasn't as big of a Sixers fan as some, but I certainly respected what he was doing. So that's my 4. That's my Roosevelt there.
Yeah, and point. I'm sure Keith is gonna love this one. I mean, look, I kind of did my homework, if you will, and I knew, I was like, oh, Dr. J is probably rolling on this mountain somewhere. He's in my top 10. I'll say that. But because of my criteria, he's kind of hanging out. But I will say this: you said in the dunk contest, if I'm not mistaken, he was the very first winner of the dunk contest. I think I might be wrong on that, but yeah, he was a lot of finesse. He was one. I watched a video today, and then I'll let Keith and Andy jump in. The other Andy, I watched the video today, and they said that Dr. J. Like previous to Dr. J, some of Wilt Chamberlain and some of the George Mikan and all those guys used the dunk to avoid the block, and Dr. J used the dunk to increase his brand, and because he made it like
cool,
it like this is my game. Like I'm gonna show how awesome I am, and somebody also said that he never liked the dunk the same way every time or something. So I was watching the video. It was pretty interesting. And I was like, oh, I'm sure Dr. J is going to be on the day. Yeah, Keith, what do you think about Dr. J?
I love Dr. J. Like Andy, we're a month apart from when we were born, but growing up in Philly, catching the tail end of his career when I was a huge Sixers fan, still am. I mean, I don't want to tease future picks, but he's definitely. I mean, he's an innovator in the topic. So
not the last time you'll hear his name, is what you're saying.
Right? Yeah. I'm not. Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
Well,
you're pulling a me there.
And I'll just share this. Many of the people that are in the chat have seen your show already, but those that haven't, just a little heads up. Keith is very vintage. So the older, the better for him. And honestly, Dr. J might be your youngest guy on your mountain today.
Yeah, so, I mean, can I tease it? James Naismith.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Naismith on your list?
Peach baskets
don't count. Peach baskets don't count.
Baskets don't count. No. Yeah. All right. Well, Andy, what do you think about Dr. J? That's way before your time. I think you're the youngest guy on the hill here.
Probably so. So he's not going to make my mountain. It's not going to make my Benjamins, only because I have a criteria, and it's been my criteria that I've stuck with for every time that I do sports, right? So he was not in my viewership. Like I was not, and not because, listen, I can look back at old footage, right, and respect it, and probably say, yeah, he deserves to be up there. But I wanted to pick more people that I was witnessing play and stuff. But I will say, obviously, very dominant. He's probably one of the most well-known players of all time. I mean, if you think about Dr. J, to have a nickname like that is always it's gonna mean a lot. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. Some of these nicknames of these guys we're going to talk about today are pretty fun. Yeah, that's the fun thing about basketball, is the nicknames. It's one of those cool things. But yeah, Dr. J, man, good pick, good start. Now, Keith, it's your turn, man. So you're going to go your criteria. What were you thinking kind of when you were putting your list together? And then let's give us your number 4.
Okay. Yeah. So what I was going for more in my criteria is, I wanted to see the dunker in game action, like using the dunk to like power over defender or throwing it down someone's face as compared to dunk contests. Right. I mean, I think there's some guys later on, are going to be dunk contest guys who really made their name more in that aspect of basketball, but I value the in-game stuff more than that.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
So that is another wrinkle in my criteria that I'll share later today also. So that I love that as well. So Keith, who are you going to go with number 4, Rosie?
So this guy, I mean, very great in-game dunker, power dunker. I mean, similar to some other players of his generation, but I'm going to go with the human highlight reel. I'm going to go Dominique Wilkins.
Let's
just
go.
Electric dunker.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was saying let's go also for the human highlight reel, but my daughter, they just won and they're moving on in the playoffs, baby.
Oh, congrats.
We
Awesome.
just upset number 2. Yes. So that is awesome. Now let me switch over to our show. Man, we had 100 people watching this thing. That's crazy. So they won 13-7. And so I love that pick. Let's go back to the Wilkins pick. I absolutely love this pick. And I'll hold off on some of the comments because I'll tell you in my criteria why. But I'm in Atlanta. That's where I live now. And this guy is by far and away the number 1 or 2 most important Atlanta Hawk ever in their opinion. Like you go anywhere, it's this guy and it's Mutombo. They don't talk about Spud Webb. They don't talk about some of the other guys, these new guys. They don't really, even Ice Trey that's playing now. Dominique, every time I go to a Hawks game, they automatically find where Wilkins is because he's there all the time. Yeah. And he's like the most important guy for them. So
that's awesome.
I love this pick. Just a side note, he was my favorite player in the 80s when everybody was loving Jordan. Jordan eventually became my favorite player, but I was just that guy all the time. And Wilkins was the Duncan in the 80s, right? And then Jordan kind of took it over in the 90s. So great pick, man. I love this. Yeah. So Andy, this is probably not you either. So 2 Andys. My Andy, the younger one, this is probably not you. It's a little bit before your time. So
also, I have a general rule when it comes to sports that I don't ever put anybody who played in Atlanta.
Harsh.
New Orleans fan, it's just kind of a thing that we have to hold to, man. No, I'm just kidding. But, he is before my time for sure. So, yeah.
But yeah, no, he was an absolute like legend. He was a stud basketball player. He's probably, I would say, I can't think of too many people that had a natural jumping ability and sort of dunking ability like Wilkins had. He was also like a 2-footed jumper too. Like he wasn't like the guy that soared. He would just go basically straight up, like, 13 feet in the air. And, and he had such authority with his dunking. Like it was so like when he dunked the ball, like he wasn't even that big. I think he was like 6'9", but he was, just looked like he played a lot bigger and just would dunk harder than anybody. So that's a great pick. Yeah.
He was an amazing player. I saw a video today where they were like, he was such a great dunker. He has on the NBA.com a full 14-minute dunking video, just dunks on the NBA.com. Like the video I was watching was like, if you have this on NBA.com, you're definitely one of the greatest dunkers of all time. Also, I'll share this. You know what? I was going to make him my number 4. He was teetering. I'm just going to say he's my number 5. Put my other guy on number 4 for sure, just so I get that guy on. That's why I was kind of my criteria. I'll make Dominique my last guy, but I will say this: he won in '85 the dunk contest over Jordan.
Mhm.
And then one of the most controversial dunk contests, and one where they consider the greatest, next to one later, which we might talk about those guys, was Jordan beating him in '88. And so people still argue that Wilkins actually won that. So, but I'll make him my number one Benjamin, which moves my guy, which I was trying to figure out if I was going to do it or not, to number 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now he's eliminated from you. So
yeah, he's eliminated for me. So
we know we won't hear it from Kirk. All right. Well, good pick. Good pick. Way to start the mountain. Kirk, is my turn. Am I 3?
It is your turn.
I am 3. Okay. So criteria, I've kind of teased that. I've talked about it. I had to have watched them play. Again, no disrespect to some of the greats that we've already mentioned. It just helped me to narrow it down. I prefer to like firsthand experience of seeing these guys do these dunks rather than just look in the archives. Right. And again, there may be some better. My 4, just like we do all the time, are my 4, right? They may not be the greatest of all time, but they were the ones that I enjoyed the most watching. And kind of like we said before, there is that distinction between in-game and just dunk contest dunkers, right? Most of mine were in-game. However, a few of them are known pretty well for some dunk contest stuff too. So there was some overlap there when it came to the dunking. But overall, I was looking at like in-game stuff and who are just some of my favorite ones to watch. Really is what it boiled down to. And Barry, Gene Simmons did not dunk. I know we're trying really hard to tie Kiss into everything that we do, but it's if anyone, I think Gene may be the one who would dunk of the 4. Although if I had to, anyway. So no, it did not happen. All right. Anyway, so that's my criteria. Getting into my Rosie, my number 4. I'm coming in hot, right? I mean, and all of my guys, with that said, are going to be 90s, 2000s, 2010. I mean, really 90s and 2000s, right? I think that's pretty much where I'm going to say, although some of them are in here. This guy is the one who's still active. And coming in real hot with this, I'm not a big fan of this guy. I'm not a big fan of, all that surrounds this guy. But I cannot
I know where you're going with now.
I cannot deny this guy's in-game dunk, just fierceness. When this guy dunks, he wants your family that's yet to be born to know that you just got dunked on, right? Like he is just coming with the hammer. And I'm going with LeBron James right off the top. I mean, this guy.
I knew it. King.
I mean, listen, it's like a middle linebacker dunking on you. I mean, it's been said millions of times in all of the media. And again, I'm saying this not being a LeBron guy. I'm not a LeBron guy. But he is definitely one of the best dunkers you can't deny in game, right? Specifically, where he is just going to dominate you. There's no reason that a man that is that size should be that athletic, right? It just shouldn't physically happen. You have he's a physical freak, and you see it when he dunks. And he's still, he's like 87 years old right now, and he's still dunking on people. It's crazy. His son is playing with. There's no reason this guy should be doing what he does. He's at my 4 because of the fact that I'm just not a big LeBron fan. I root against him whenever, especially now that he's a Laker. That just, even makes it even worse for me. Anyway, we'll talk about that other stuff later. But LeBron James, the self-proclaimed king, GOAT, he's got to make it to this list, and I'm going to go with him at my Rosie.
So you're taking another Benjamin. He was on a Benjamin. If you ask Cannon, this was his George. Cannon's my son, guys, and everybody watching. Also, everybody that's in the chat. Ergo, welcome to the show. I threw you a wrench. Rips and Bruce got a wrench now too. But welcome to the show. Speaking of that, we just hit 1,000. Thank you, everybody. We passed that 1,000 subscribers mark, which that is amazing, and welcome and for being a part of all this. Hey, look, he was definitely on Power Game Alone. Power Game Alone. He is legit. He has he's just, this is what puts him in the argument with Jordan, right? Not saying he's better, because I'm not in that camp. But that's what puts him in the argument, is that he is a genetic freak. Like, guys his size should not do the things he does. And if you remember, guys his size didn't shoot 3-pointers. Now they're all shoot 3-pointers. Yeah. Now they should have a 5-pointer by now. I mean, like, these guys are shooting from the logo all the time. And when you talk about dunks, the one thing that I will give, and I have two guys on mine that also fall in this criteria. He was not a dunk contest guy. He's never done it. And when you think of the NBA and the greatest dunkers, a lot of those guys come from that contest because of the acrobatics that they do. But his was all in game. He's got posters all over the place. Yeah. So this puts him high on the mountain. He is definitely in my top 10 for sure. Top 10 in most anything basketball. And I'm not a hater, but I definitely am not his biggest fan for sure. I appreciate that this is the era we live in, and we get to see guys like this play. So, hey guys,
Duncan Hines.
I've heard you guys talk about LeBron in the past. So, what y'all think?
Yeah, amazing longevity first, right? The fact that he's been playing still at a high level to this age. I don't know how old he is. I mean, is he 42 or what? Do you know what he is, Andy?
I don't know. I know he came out of high school, right? So,
he's like only 38, 39.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so it's close, I guess. But yeah, I mean,
39, yeah, there you go.
39. But yeah, longevity. I mean,
man, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. He just gave up a home run to tie it.
Are we talking about the Yankees or your daughter's game?
Yankees in the Guardians.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought they already won. Yeah.
No, that game is still on. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs.
Oof.
All right, so yeah.
Yeah, but great pick. Yeah, I mean, he was one of my Benjamins as well, and a great in-game dunker too, right? Just, I mean, power.
That's what you're going to get. All of his dunks are going to be in-game dunks.
Yeah.
His game has changed too, really. I mean, like when he first came into the league, he was way more. I mean, his game was way more athletic of a game in terms of like now it's way like a lot more finesse, a lot more kind of heady playing and stuff like that. So I'm sure he dunks some, but got to respect. Especially like his early stuff, he's just, his head's way above the rim, and it's like, you just got to get out of the way. With 250 or 60 pound guys coming at you.
He's a middle linebacker dunking. It's just I don't want to be anywhere in the vicinity.
not many charges being taken on LeBron James, right? I mean, they're well now.
Anyway, that's when I see him flop like Steph Curry. Like, really, Steph Curry.
This is the argument that we're going to have. We have this every time, right? It's the flopping. That's what gets him. To me, well, that's a whole different story. We've already talked about that. We talked about it in the GOATs. But anyways, I guess it's my turn, man. So my criteria. So I have some criteria. You guys have kind of touched on it. So it seems like you guys maybe either did the same homework or watched the same things. Because I kind of was thinking – 1, in-game dunking, 2, power dunking, 3, finesse, slam dunk contest, all those things combined. 4 guys that I like, 4 guys that I followed, 4 guys I collected cards for, 4 guys that, I think all 4 of mine, don't play anymore. My top 4, none of them are still playing, and I would have loved to at least seen them play. This guy right here is he came out of high school to play my Rosie. Sorry, jumping into my Rosie. My first guy, he came out of high school, drafted, and played on a team that they would make the finals and whatever, and they do whatever. But to me, when you talk in-game dunking, one of the things, he's never been a dunk contest guy, but in-game dunking, he is absolutely one of the harshest. Andy, I would have your address about King James, LeBron, I would have said it was this guy, although I knew it wasn't this guy because this is before your time. But this is LeBron James before LeBron James, and I'm going with the Rain Man. I'm going with Shawn Kemp from the Seattle Supersonics. Him and Peyton were the 1-2 punch, thunder and lightning, man. And the Rain Man, dude. When I think of posters, I think of some of the craziness this guy, like he was trying to take your life. Like everything was power. He was above the rim. Everything was trying to, like my favorite dunk, he like posterizes this guy. Then he gets on the ground. He points in his face. And that was 80s, late 80s, early 90s, all that kind of basketball, which is very similar to 80s and 90s football and all that before all these rules came and went in. And it's one of the arguments about what's going on now is just all the finesse and the trying to add longevity and how that interferes. But Sean was a fantastic player. Never won really anything, except was totally the face with him in the glove with Gary Payton of that Seattle Supersonics team. And then Durant went over there and moved him to the Thunder. But the Rain Man, it was between him and Dominique Wilkins, the human highlight film. And they were both kind of in the same era, both played USA. He won that. He won USA Gold at least one time. So, yeah, I'm going with Sean Kemp, man. Sean Kemp, one of my favorite players of all time. Yeah, Sean Kemp.
Great pick. Yeah, I love Sean Kemp, too, at that time period. I mean, just the power dunker. I mean, athletic as athletic as you can be.
Yeah, I knew he was on Keith's list. I know, or not list, but I know you're a huge fan of Kemp, and so was I too. I mean, how can you not watch this guy? He always, I feel like when he was dunking, he'd always have this angle of his body, like where he was just so aggressive, and like his body would kind of bend like this because he was so dunking so hard. And but yeah, he was again like another freak athlete, and he was another 2-footed jumper, I think too. Like so, again, I think those guys are typically a little more powerful.
Yep.
And yeah, so he was phenomenal.
I mean, just shred it too. Like I think of like the David Bostons of the world. Like these guys are just freak athletes, right? DK Metcalf now, but he would have fit in that range. Not necessarily a 7-footer, but just muscle and just.
I think you get a lot more. I think nowadays, better athletes, like actual, just for nutrition and training and stuff. Back then, I think he was just a couple guys who said is a genetic freak. Like he's just that good. I mean, there were a lot of skinny guys back in the 80s, late 80s and 90s too, and he looked like a man among men, really.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. I will say this about Seattle Supersonics though. They need to bring that jersey. I mean, that's a great jersey. It's a great throwback.
It's been thrown out there that expansions is kind of like that's going to be the bringing it all back. But we'll see.
That'd be cool.
Well, that's my first level. That's my first level, and it's time to move on. Now we don't have to do criteria. We can just jump in so we all know what's going on. This is TJ Jazzy Jeff. That's our abbreviation. That's our fun Duncan nickname for Thomas Jefferson. So, all right, Andy, you're starting it. So, who's your number 2 going up this mountain?
Well, number 3, but
mountain
or TJ Jazzy Jeff. What you got?
So my TJ is somebody that's been said already. It's Dominique Wilkins. So yeah, I mean,
nice.
Wait, hold on, let me give you this right here.
Yeah, I mean, I loved watching him. You were talking about like his dunk battles with Jordan. That was the heyday of dunk battles. I honestly probably haven't watched the dunk contest much since then. There's maybe a few I've watched a little bit just to see what's going on. But yeah, that's like must-see TV. You had to watch those two go at it because they were absolutely – I mean, and they both wanted it too, so they were not like – this was not a game to them, I felt like. And Dominique, I don't think he ever did anything like lighthearted. He was like angry, maybe not actually angry, but he sure looked angry at every dunk that he ever threw down. So I love him. He was one of, probably top 5 childhood, like, one of the guys that I grew up with that I was watching and loved. So yeah, that's my.
Also on that Olympic gold team, also the Dream Team, the original, gosh, that was so much fun to watch back in the 90s before all the pros now play Olympics where they kind of ambush that amateur sport. Yeah, we've already kind of chatted about him. Anybody want to add anything? I didn't know he was going to get mentioned again, but I kind of threw a lot what I was going to say out there.
The one thing about him, I will say too, not to pile on, but I actually don't remember him ever shooting the ball. That's how much of a dunker he was. Like I cannot.
That's a good.
Yeah.
I cannot picture in my mind him ever shooting. I don't know if he ever shot the ball. So I know he rebounded. I know he did like put back dunks, but almost everything was a dunk.
His forte was the windmill, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so he was kind of the one that brought the whole windmill thing to a bigger light, right? That was his favorite, kind of go to.
Yeah.
Dominique Wilson,
yeah.
For whatever reason, sometimes when I hear these things, I think of me playing Nintendo back in the day, late 80s, watching on another TV, my dad watching like basketball, and it was like Jordan on TBS, like Jordan versus Dominique. And I remember like, I hope Dominique wins, because like it was always anti everybody else what they were saying. But I remember those days for sure. Dominique's
not a bad guy. Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. I was going to say, to Andy's point, the fact that he didn't shoot, that was almost the error of the game. Right now, every big man, Joel Embiid's hoisting up 12 threes a game, but
which is just crazy to me. Like it's just insane.
So I'm not a stat guy, but career average 31.9% from three.
Oh wow!
So he did shoot some. He did shoot some.
Yeah.
He had a 0% in 83-84. I wonder if that was an injury or something. I don't know what happened that year. Anyway, everything else is like 18-30, 18-30, 30-27. And then he had a 0 thrown in there too. I don't know where that came. Anyway, but hey, 32% for this big man who's known for his dunking. Not for the time, for the 80s, 32% from three is, I would think, is pretty impressive. So
yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Good pick again.
Man.
All right, Keith, we're now to you with your second one, your TJ Jazzy. Jeff, what you got?
Yeah, so for my TJ, I'm going to skew vintage here as well. Not going to go James Naismith, even though I consider him. I'm going to go with a player there was a lot of lore growing up in Philadelphia. He was like, I was very young when he last played with the Sixers, but so it wasn't like a great player. He was a good player, but he's not like probably not a starter on an all-star team that I can recall. But I'm going to go with a guy who changed the rules, or at least changed equipment in the NBA. I'm going to go with the Chocolate Thunder, Darryl Dawkins.
Darryl Dawkins
was shattering backboards. They changed the backboards after him to a breakaway rim, so they didn't have to stop the game for an hour to sweep up glass. So changed the game. Major power dunker for sure.
Dawkins was definitely known for those 2 or 3 boards he shattered like within like weeks of each other. I remember.
Yeah.
And I watched the video today of them kind of like zooming in like to all the glass, because they were just, everybody was shocked, like what happened.
Yeah.
But they changed the backboards because of him, and it's pretty crazy.
Chocolate Thunder.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I was going to say that too. Go ahead.
He had some great like nicknames. He's Chocolate Thunder. He had like his whole like interview one time where he was naming all of his nicknames, right? He was like Chocolate Thunder, he was the Glass Breaker, Rim Shaker, like all this like he had his own like lore around him too, which is great too. But
he passed away at 58 in 2015. He passed away heart attack. Wow. Dikembe Mutombo was another 58 years old.
Yeah, big man. Fortunately, that's not super uncommon, I guess. But
which just to throw this out there, since you brought Mutombo up again, I'm in Atlanta. So I moved here about 6 years ago, a little more, and I moved my whole family down, and then I had to fly back to New Orleans to get some more things and drive my other car up. And I drove back up like 3 weeks later, and I kind of just got my house prepared for renters and all those things. Long story short, standing in TSA right in front of me is this massive tree of a man. I'm like, who the heck is this? And he turns around and I'm like, oh my God. So I'm just like the introverted guy. I'm not the guy that's going to be like, hey, can I take a picture? So I'm like trying to get my phone in the right place to where he's like over my head. And I'm like, look who I'm by. This is freaking. I just wanted to be like, not in my house, I was like, dude, I know they get that crap all the time. So I don't know. I just avoided it. But give me Mutombo, RIP, man, just recently. It's crazy. Yeah. All right, Andy, you're up, man.
All right, man. Well, yeah, we cannot have
Do it.
this conversation tonight without talking about potentially the GOAT. He's got to be the GOAT in this category. He's my TJ for different reasons, but Vinsanity, man. Vince Carter has got to be talked about tonight. He was not only in game, but what's crazy about Vince Carter to me is, yes, we have the dunk competition, right? But we have the in game also. This dude was doing dunk competition dunks in game, like 360 windmills, like just because he had a breakaway. I mean, it was just wild. This guy is probably on many lists is considered the number one, and rightfully so. Vince Carter's the guy. Also, as I mentioned before, because I didn't know much about Sean Kemp, talking about Seattle Supersonics jersey, that throwback Toronto Raptors jersey might be the best throwback in the association. The purple with the red wrap. I mean, it's just fantastic. But yeah, this dude's played. I mean, you have to scroll for like 3 minutes to see how many years this guy's played when you're looking at his stats. This guy went forever, and he's got to be the goat dunker of all time. Vince Carter is where I'm going. Flashiness, but again, what's just crazy to me, like I said, is just the fact that he's doing this in-game wild dunks too, right? You know, and yeah, I mean, I think every list that I pulled up before has him at the one, and they say it's by far. So again, I'm not going too far off of what maybe the critics would say, but we had to talk about him for sure. Vince Carter is going to be my TJ.
Yeah. I mean, great pick. Journeyman, played for 8 teams, played for the Hawks for a little bit.
He played for everyone. I mean, there's
not a huge guy, 6'6" in NBA standards. It's kind of like mid. That's meh. You're right there. UNC guy, man, and he's not that much older than I am. So I grew up watching him for sure.
Let me just say, I pulled up a video today, top 10 dunks of all my guys, just to jog the memory again. His dunk in the 2000 Olympics, where he completely jumped over the 7-footer.
Yeah, he gave Frank White a little, you know, that was. It should have been illegal. Like, he gave him a little sniff. I mean, like, really, he like went right over his head. Like,
yeah, that's insane to me. This guy was a 7-footer, and he's just all the way over him, posterized.
So, yeah. I mean, this is a good pick, man. What do y'all think about Insanity?
Yeah, nobody can get as high as him for sure. Yeah. I mean, he was up there.
Yeah, I mean, he like did some stuff. I mean, again, I didn't do it all he did it in both the dunk contests and not, but he did stuff in dunk contests that nobody's ever done. Nobody ever did prior. Like, he revolutionized some of the stuff. Like, I remember like the between the leg thing, stuff like that. Nobody had seen that. I know it's kind of not a big deal anymore, but man, he was insane. Like, I can't remember when I went to University of Maryland, and so there was a lot of like Maryland versus North Carolina and Duke. So I got to see some really incredible players like Stackhouse and a couple of these other guys and everything in college. And I think I did see him. I'm trying to remember. Maybe I'm mistaking him with somebody else, but yeah, I could not believe that he was, you know, like the same sort of human as me.
He's from the same earth as me.
Yeah.
How did that even happen?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, so quick hello. This is my wife. They're on their way home from like an hour and a half drive.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so Carson's my daughter and just broke a record tonight. I'm not sure which one, because it might be a playoff record, because I don't think she was close to some regular season stuff. So if y'all are still out there, share what it is. What is the record? Yes, we want to know. But she's killing it. By the way, she's a highly touted player.
Awesome.
She's carrying a 5.08 right now batting average. So yeah, and she got she's pretty legit. So pretty fun
That's
stuff.
Awesome. Congrats.
What's the record if you're still out there on their way home? Yeah, Vince Carter had to be on this list somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Good pick. Great pick. So so it's my turn, I think, right? So I do want to share right here Zach's picks. Michael Jordan, Spud Webb. Spud Webb's a great pick. Dominique Wilkins and Shaq. Spud's going to be definitely on my Benjamins today. But that other guy you got there, Shaquille O'Neal, that's going to be coming in hot with my TJ Jazzy Jeff. Because, hey, listen, Keith said Dawkins, and they changed the equipment, and this dude still broke it. He still ripped it out the wall. He pulled the whole thing down. And I'm going with my LSU guy. My favorite player of all time. If you go back and watch our GOATs, he's not the GOAT, but he's my GOAT. And I will say this, for a 3-year span, he was the most dominant, most untouchable, most insane player history. That run with Kobe, there's never been a guy that's put up numbers like that. And this dude, when he dunked, it was power. It was all in game because he never did a dunk contest like that. But here's the thing. He was huge. He is the biggest man I've ever seen in person. Being an LSU, you kind of make your way down there every once in a while. He's always in the sidelines he was at the Ole Miss game this week. Every time you go down to LSU for a big game, he's there. This guy, the big Aristotle, Shaq Attack. I mean, I remember there are cards that showed his dunking prowess, and he would pull that thing over and it's having a almost 400, 450, 7'2" guy hanging over your head by just that rim that you've seen shatter. It's kind of scary. I'm going with my favorite player of all time, my TJ. Had to be on this mountain. Just wasn't sure if I was going to make him George or not. Shaquille O'Neal.
Nice. I will just say nice pick. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice pick. Yeah.
Yeah, but in fact, he's a defensive tackle. Yeah, defensive tackle playing in basketball, right? And he just could bully around the low post there and do whatever he wanted. I mean, nobody could really body him up and keep him away from the rim. So,
I'm not even sure.
Baseball, we always talk about the steroids.
Yeah,
he was living high on burgers, Drew. LSU, he wasn't nearly as big, and he was always a strong guy. But I mean, he was genetic freak again.
Yeah,
but this dude packed on pounds of and you couldn't stop him. It's like trying to stop a Mack truck. It's just insane.
Yeah, my favorite. I'm sure you'll remember this movie if you're a Shaq fan.
Let's go Blue Chips.
Is in Blue Chips? Yeah, when he was I can't remember what his name was in there. But,
Neon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's right.
That was Penny Hardaway, baby.
Yeah. Penny was in there, and
Here's a fun little story for everybody. Hey, Bryce, how are you doing, bud?
What's up, Bryce?
I didn't really like you when he was in the Celtics, but he was also a journeyman as well. See, Shaquille is what made me follow players instead of teams because he stuck with the Magic. I was a huge Magic fan, and then he went to the Lakers. And yes, I was a Lakers fan for that period of time. And then when he left, I was like, well, now I'm a Cavaliers fan, and now I'm a Celtics fan and a Heat fan and a whatever. So, but Bryce, just want to say hello to you, Bryce. Bryce, I know you messaged me about when, and we're going to send that out shortly. We have to book matter of fact, anybody out there that wants to be on the show, we're booking food coming up. Bryce is going to be on for video games. So I'll send that out for you, Bryce, shortly. Don't worry about it, bud. I'll get that to you. Blue Chips. Oh, what I was going to say, little people know this. Andy used to be a teacher, and he was a coach at the school he did football and softball and a few other things. And the PE teacher that he was friends with came on our show, and we did basketball movies about a year ago. And Blue Chips, I think, was a triple. What? I think it was a triple.
Oh, yeah.
Triple crush for basketball movies because we're LSU guys. Well, we're Louisiana guys and we're Shaq guys. That's for sure. So he definitely was on there.
Yeah, no, I love that movie. That was a great movie. But yeah, he's incredible.
Nick
And he's also
Nolte.
he's a good dude too. So I mean, that's nice that he's, not every one of these guys is great, and he is.
I don't even like basketball, but I will every once in a while throw it to TBS after a basketball game just to watch him, Kenny, and Charles go at it. That's gold. That is freaking gold sometimes. But yeah, good pick, Kirk. Shaq. Man, hey, so we're halfway through the mountain, guys. It's time for, this is our time that we kind of take up and introduce our friends that are coming to our community with a few things. One, I mentioned that Andy was a teacher. Now he is a youth pastor. Ironically, the youth ministry that he's over is my old youth ministry. I moved out of youth ministry to Atlanta to come and do missionary work. I was here doing homelessness and sex trafficking here in the city of Atlanta. That's what brought me here. And then Andy was one of my leaders, took over. Ironically, now I am a health and PE teacher and do it while I'm doing that and in elementary school. So Andy took my ministry position and I am taking his health position, but we still are both ministry. And one of our favorite ministries is what's right below me right here. And that's called Reboot. And Reboot is Andy and I's very small ministry that we're kicking off. We started it this year, and we'd love to get it going more. Once we get out of the thick of things, I'm looking for some people that want to be a part of it. But Reboot is a way. It's a fun name like Rebirth. And if you're a Christian, you know that you have to be born again. And so this is our fun way of saying nerdy ministry. And our favorite thing is going to conventions and preaching at the conventions, not at the conventions, but at the conventions in there with our own little space. We get a booth, and then on Sundays we preach to the crowd, whoever wants to show up, and we preach a nerdy message. And it's a fun way to kind of love on all our Star Wars and comic book and video game friends, and also just say that not only does Jesus love them, but they have some friends in their corner if they ever want to chat. So with that being said, our next stop, Andy, is the St. Tammany Collectors Con. And before you throw up the video, let's throw this up. Here's a little trailer for you.
What? Prepare to make the jump to light speed.
What's up? They're getting closer.
Oh, yeah? Watch this.
Reboot, we also do a couple messages. If you go out on our homepage, you can see a few of those messages, even some of the ones that we preached at the convention. And also, Andy, I'm going to drop right now our little commercial. This is our next convention coming up.
Has something for everyone, so mark your calendars, grab your tickets, and get ready to experience the largest
And I know all you guys saw our friend Sergeant Slaughter. Turn your mics down right now. Give me 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8. Turn them down.
Headphones in. Warning.
5, 4, 3. Here you go. 2, 1.
Sergeant Slaughter, ID number 199-20017.
Catch him, maggots. This is Sergeant Slaughter from the WWE and G.I. Joe, the real American hero. And you're watching the Rushmore Show. This is the top 4 and nothing more. And that's an order. Yo! I don't know what that fellow said there in all that different type of language, but he says it'll take more than a whistle to beat him. Well, let me tell you, how does a slaughter cannon sound?
For all y'all don't know, my son's name's Cannon, and that was the slaughter cannon right there that you just saw. Anyways, fun times down in Louisiana. And we got two more things to share. We got our favorite drink of the Rushmore Show, and we got to share one of our good friends right here over my head.
Yes.
Culture Box. Culture Box is just a group of friends that we kind of partner with. We were the Super Retro Force before the Super Retro Force. Now, our Super Retro Force is all Christian creators. They talk about nerdy, fun, geeky things. And Andy, who are we going to share with them today for the very first time? Just some of these folks.
Yeah, we love our friends over at Culture Box, and I feel like we should maybe talk about the Untold podcast. Let's check it out. The Untold podcast is a speculative fiction podcast utilizing the genres of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror, among others, in order to engage the culture's imagination from a Christian worldview. Every month, Nathan James Norman produces and narrates a new story, presented in a unique and dynamic way. Check out the Untold podcast at untoldpodcast.com to listen and leave them a review on Apple Podcasts. Go check them out. Let them know that the Rushmore Show sent you there.
And hey, look, we're going to support QT today. Just kidding. What is our favorite drink of the Rushmore Show? And then we can get this up, the rest of this mountain going. Hey, my fine people, don't leave yet. You want to hear about this coffee?
Yes. If you're a coffee fan like I am, you want to order your coffee from Village Coffee. The Village Coffee, good friend of ours, Cade, over here. If you go to villagebeans.com, you can order. He will ship it to you if you're in the 48, right? He's got 3 different roasts. I think online it's only 2 right now, so the third one will be coming out soon. But in Mexico and Ethiopia, and soon to come a Colombian. You can order in K-Cup. You can order it in the grounds, however you like it. It is the single best cup of coffee you will ever have. It is so good. I love it so much. And little spoiler alert, he gave us a free sample of a cold brew ground that he's working on. So once I taste that, I will let you guys know how that is. But yeah, we're big fans of that. If you go there, you can sign up for the email blast. You can get coffee lessons. You can get a 10% off coupon. You can do all that. Let them know in the delivery notes or whatever that you heard about it from the Rushmore Show. And I put the link down there in the comments, so you should be able to see that too.
And hey, look, I don't want this to go missed, okay? And it's time to start the second half of our mountain. Andy from Vintage is up first, but I don't want this to get missed because I think it got lost in the weeds a little bit. Andy, me and you, we led our softball team at St. Tammany to its only 2 history wins.
Yeah.
That's
2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. The only 2 wins in school history. The only 2 that I've ever heard of since. Which tells you. I mean, remember Kirk Kimaya sliding into first? I mean, I'll always remember that.
Fantastic.
It was fantastic. It was a form slide. It was a
throw her the meatball. Dude, if you have a parent yelling, throw her the meatball, you're not coaching the right team. You're not.
That's why we have 2 wins in our school history.
All right,
well, it was a walk fest,
but it was a win. Moving, man. It's getting that time. Oh, by the way, all the Yankee haters, the Guardians just walked them off with a 2-run bomb in the 10th. Wow. Pretty fantastic. 2 back-to-back innings of 2 runs. So now all I'm focused on is Sean Payton and these Saints. So, Andy, Andy Vintage, you're up, dude, and this is our link. This is a good time to talk Zelda, but he's not Duncan. And so where are we going? Number 2.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how I can weave my number 2 into that, but I don't think I'm not quick enough to do that. But no, I think for me, there were 2, 3 were kind of very close for me. mostly because they kind of battled each other. So I'm going to go with, the GOAT of all time, Michael Jordan. He, had probably some of the most iconic dunks you've ever seen. I think everybody had the poster with his tongue out. Like, I think that was mandatory, that if you grew up in the 80s, you had to have that. He was obviously an incredible basketball player, revolutionized the dunk contest, I think, too, jumped from the free throw line, of course. Just an incredible athlete. And I think it's almost, you can't have one without the other. I think Jordan made Wilkins better and Wilkins made Jordan better. Again, he was maybe not the most powerful dunker. Finesse wise and sort of skill wise, I think he was probably the best dunker, but he is my number 2. So there may be one, there's one person ahead of him.
So kind of curious that if we all watch the same videos, because we're all saying the same words, the finesse dunker. I was watching some today, and because I always go to, first off, I always put my list together and then I throw it in Chat GPT and I say, these are what I'm looking at. What are other ones you would recommend like this? So the ones that I don't remember and that jog my memory. And then I always take that list and then usually go bounce into either Google or YouTube and go find some videos. And I found a video and they were like, Jordan's just a finesse dunker. And I was like, yeah, he was a finesse dunker. And then I found this other one where it's like the video was every single dunk was a poster. And I was like, it's really hard to be a finesse dunker when you are constantly elevating over people and just doing whatever. And honestly, I think he was just that talented with the control of his body. He didn't have to power it down on you. He was just kind of he was gliding without the nickname through the paint and just doing stuff, man. His airness, man. Anybody named Air, it's a big deal. The air up there. Yeah. Speaking of that,
Air Bud.
Yeah. So I put Air Rushmore on our thing, but we forgot a nickname for Vinsanity, Air Canada. He took Air Canada.
Yeah. Toronto, right? Yeah, he's a Toronto guy.
This is a fantastic pick. Can't have the mountain without the goat.
Absolutely. It had to be there for sure.
I mean, his logo is the jump man, right? So his logo is him doing the dunk.
Yeah,
so it's like,
he's
come on. Yeah.
Say hello.
Oh, there's Cannon.
He's gone.
Retro Cannon in the house. We just showed Sergeant Slaughter. So, all right. Well, Keith, what do you think about Jordan?
No, I mean, he has to be on there, right? I mean, one of the best, if not the best of all time. So yeah, definitely he's gonna have to be on everyone's Rushmore. I would think.
What happened there?
I would think so. I would think so for sure.
I think that. So you took a Benjamin from me. He was right there off the Benjamin.
Really?
Because most of his career,
you were still in a diaper,
or not even thought of even in the beginning. I mean, I was born in '89, so I mean, I say most of his career, a good portion of it. I was just young. I wasn't really watching it as much. Obviously, what he meant to the game has just been immeasurable, right? But I think that there's a lot that goes into these dunk picks are just like iconic moments, right? Obviously, dunk is an individual play. It's 2 points, right? But just different iconic things. And I think, like you said, I mean, the tongue sticking out is just the iconic one. And then let's not forget, this man stretched his arms full court in Space Jam to dunk on the Monstars. That's without being said to me. I will say that definitely throws him up here.
Hey, look, I don't think I didn't try to incorporate some kind of pop culture dunk. Like, I was trying to figure out like how to, and that is pretty funny.
Yeah, he stretched his arms like Dalzim from Street Fighter.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron was doing some stuff too. In Space Jam, I was saying.
Yeah.
LeBron James scored 2 points in that game in Space Jam. The second, he's never going to be the GOAT. And that movie's garbage too. Anyway, that's a different topic for another day. But whatever.
So, anyways, Jordan, of course, has to be on the list. Great pick. Yankees 1 out away from going up 3 games. Yep. And guess what, Barry? That's actually probably a series changer because you don't want to lose games like you'd rather lose 9-0. 9-0.
That's brutal. A hard one to swallow. Yeah.
And it's on their big closer too, who never gives up that. So that's a big deal. All right. So Keith, you're up, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I was actually almost wore a T-shirt for this player, a vintage 1988 caricature T-shirt, but instead I wore the vintage Rushmore 1980s T-shirt.
Oh man, I need that in my life.
Yeah, in honor of the Rushmore show.
Shirt.
Yeah.
Wow.
A little sunrise back there.
That's amazing.
But I hate to follow it up right after Andy, but Michael's my link as well.
Whoa,
Hold the phone because it's a crush.
Yeah, I mean, he was going to have to be up there on one of the top 2 spots for me. And Andy said he had a lot of finesse, but a lot of his finesse game was maneuvering down close to the, there was maneuvering the lane. It wasn't necessarily taking off and throwing over people from the foul line, not in a dunk contest, but he could take off quick and maneuver around in tight quarters. And he would still have power when he had to throw it down over a big center who was waiting there for him. So, arguably the best dunker of all time. Maybe not the power or the height that Vince Carter would have gotten later on, but changed the game a lot.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally agree. This is a fantastic pick. I mean, this is one of the reasons we started the Rushmore Show is because of Michael Jordan and the whole conversation that surrounds him every year and every new kid that comes out. I mean, there's a guy that's on my list, and he's way down the list. He's probably not picked today, and I'll just throw it out there. He's called Baby Jordan, for goodness sakes, because he won a freaking contest, a dunk contest. And they're like, oh, yeah, you like to fly. That's Harold Miner. But, they called him Baby Jordan. Like, everybody wanted to be like Mike, right? And that it isn't just a commercial. Everybody grew up trying to elevate themselves to that status. And one of the things was his dunks, that free throw dunk, all of that. So, yeah.
Also, like Mike, another great basketball movie with Bauer.
Yeah.
I love that movie. That's a good pick.
Andy, Rushmore, Andy, you're up, man.
I am up. All right, so my next 2 are going to be 2 of my favorite players ever to play the game of basketball. This guy is probably my surprise of the list.
No, it's not, because you picked him before.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite players of all time. Doesn't get mentioned in the GOATs, obviously. He shouldn't be mentioned in the GOATs.
Dunking, he will. I had this guy pegged for you at 4.
3-time dunk competition champion, 2006, 2009, 2010. Coming in at a whopping 5'9", but with a 43-inch vertical. Nate the Great, Nate Robinson. Give me this guy. I love Nate Robinson. There is no reason a guy at 5'9" should win the dunk contest 3 years in a row, but he outright won it, right? This guy, when you see him take off, it looks like a glitch in a video game. He shouldn't be that high up, right? But I love Nate Robinson. Obviously, we're talking about dunks tonight, but from somebody just a fierce player, there's images of him getting bloodied up. He just played basketball with so much passion and just reckless, man. And he was a Pelican for like half of a cup of coffee. So, like, he didn't even get to finish it. And he was out, but it was fun to see him with the Pelicans. But yeah, and obviously that's at the tail end of the career. He's not going to make the Rushmore of fighters, boxing.
I was about to say that.
He's unfortunately not going to do that. But when it comes to dunks, this guy, and again, I know we're not talking about blocks, but it does get to his vertical here. The video where he blocks Yao Ming's shot is just stupid. Why is this guy blocking? It's crazy. But anyway, from a dunk standpoint, he made you feel like all the short guys have a shot at this. Obviously, we talked about Spud Webb and kind of that stuff in the past and different things. But Nate Robinson, one of my favorite basketball players of all time, and I had to bring him up today when it came to dunkers. So he's my link.
Yeah, I had you for this one for sure. I didn't have you pegged for LeBron, to be honest.
He makes my 2. He makes it that high on my list because he's just one of my favorite players of all time.
I know you love this guy. He was on your GOAT list. He was on your GOAT.
Yeah, I think he was my 4 in my GOAT.
I was like, you've got to have him on this thing today. Nate Robinson, fantastic player. I love when he was like trying to like dunk with Dwight Howard and like they were next to each other. That's kind of a fun. It's kind of like Altuve next to Judge in that picture in the playoffs a couple years ago. But yeah, not a great boxer. You can't let a YouTube guy beat you up. That's horrible. This is a fun little pick because guys like Nate Robinson, the Spud Webbs, Muggsy Bogues of the world, which there's another Space Jam reference. They do make you kind of like it's not always about the genetics, right? There is a little bit of work ethic and talent that needs to come involved sometimes with this. And to see those guys excel, especially in a dunk contest, it's almost like NBA Jam, right? It's like where's he getting? He's on fire. I mean, like, where's he getting all that from? That's a good point, man. I didn't have you at 2 though. I had him more like at 4. But hey, you do you, boo. You do you.
Nate's another guy that played for about every team. I think he was on every team. I see Barry talking about all the Celtics who are in here, but he was one of those guys where you can do the meme of the rainbow, like he's got every color jersey.
Definitely,
You guys like Nate?
Yeah, I think he was a little maybe after I kind of was really into basketball. So, but I definitely had seen him before. I guess I remember him most from the Knicks, right? He was mostly okay. He was always an incredible player anytime I saw him. It's something weird when you see somebody that's that height being that successful in the NBA. I mean, there obviously have been players, but it just doesn't look right. It's completely.
You have a short NFL player, like you've got the shorter guys, and that looks a little bit off. But when it's basketball, where you're designed, like you have to get high, like you have to be up there, is just crazy. So
I gotta love
just
it.
say hello to one of the guys on your side. Phil 5 Dime is in the chat. How's it going, Phil? Welcome to the show. We're having your boys on over. Come on over to our side and give us a like, and go on back and give them the hours. That's fine. But hey, look, we love to meet new people, and welcome to the show. And I'm assuming that's some chevrons in there. So if you're a veteran, thanks for your service, because that's what we do. Us veterans got to stick around. So, anyways, Nate Robinson, man, love that pick. So Keith, were you gonna say something? I cut you off.
I'm just saying, you gotta love an under 6 footer getting on the Rushmore. I like that for the under 6 footers over here. I'm
for the short kings out there. It's for the short kings out there. Come on. All right. So Kirk, you are to your link to your point though about Link not being a good dunker. I think that Ganondorf would probably be the only guy that I would trust.
As long as he's not in the pig form, right? As long as he's not in the pig form.
Dude, listen, back down from that. I mean, that guy's got some force behind him. I'm just saying. Anyway, all right.
I mean, I'm playing the new Tears of Kingdom right now, and he definitely can get up there. Yeah. So here's the deal. But let's move on. We're gonna go with this.
Nate Robinson? What?
You know, I had to bring old Nate Robinson on because I'm going Michael Jordan, bro. And Michael Jordan's my number 2. He is not the GOAT of dunkers to me, but he is definitely the GOAT in almost everything else. The logo says it all, man. When you got a logo of you leaping basically from the free throw line, spread, Air Jordan, Duncan, and it's the most popular probably clothing brand, not just clothes, not just shoes, clothing brand. It's taken sports to a new level, made him a billionaire, and it was mainly because of what he did on the court. The guy was ice in the veins. We talked about it in the GOAT conversation, but when it comes to dunking, the poster dunk. I remember like flipping at Walmart with that thing, and there's another one, and flip it. There's another one. You go through a few bands, and then boom, there's Jordan hanging over top of somebody, just doing whatever. Then he had all the layups and all those things too. But the guy was just great. And then go back. Not only was he a power dunker, in my opinion, because all the posters say otherwise, but he was a finesse dunker. He was an in-game dunker, and he won a dunk contest. and he dunked. You stole it, Andy, and Space Jam. I mean, he's dunked everywhere. He dunks everywhere, and he was a part of one of the greatest dunk contests in history. When he beat Dominique Wilkins in 1988. So pretty impressive. We can talk all the time. And this is, let me think. This is the only player I actually got to see that's on my list play in the NBA. The first year, or it might have been the second year, that the Hornets came to New Orleans was the last year of Jordan at the Wizards. And I took my dad to a game. My very first NBA game ever was to see the Hornets and play Jordan and the Wiz. So it was a fun game. Just wanted to get to see the GOAT play, and he had a great game. And it was a fun time. So the only guy I think that I've actually seen, play in person, although I did see Shaq play at the Maravich, so back in the day. So cool. That's my pick. Air Jordan.
Nice.
Well, this round has been Jordan, and Nate Robinson. What does that say? Who should be in the GOAT category with Jordan? It's Nate Robinson, not LeBron. No. Obviously,
I mean, arguably, if you had 1.5 Nate Robinsons, maybe you'd have a Jordan.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Nate Robinson won more dunk contests than Jordan. So
he did. He also participated in more contests.
Doesn't matter. He still won more.
Yeah. The law of averages says, well, no, it doesn't, because you could be like Gervin, who lost 8 in a row. So, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter how many you get to. So, all right. Well, we're to the George. The G. Big G, man. Where we going, Andy?
All right, so GW, got to go with VC. So
there it is. Oh,
yeah, I mean Vince for me takes it. He was just kind of the ultimate dunker. If like you're trying to like create a dunk, like a dunk person and a dunk body, like that's exactly what you want to be. You don't want to be too tall because then it looks like it's too easy. You don't want to be too short because you can't do everything. No offense to Nate Robinson, but so Vince was like perfect. I mean, I think was he like 6'6", 6'7", somewhere around there.
6'6",
okay,
260. It said, I think.
Just a phenomenal athlete. Obviously, I think he is one of the high. I'm not sure what it is now. I'm sure verticals are higher, but I think he had probably the highest vertical ever until maybe later now. But in terms of like what he could do, I mean, 360s, he could do through the legs. He was a powerful dunker. He did it all. So like he was just the epitome of a dunker for me. Did it in game, and obviously was very successful in the dunk contest as well. So he's my GOAT dunker.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, if we're being honest with the film that we watch, there's no reason he shouldn't be the number one everywhere. I mean, if you don't bring in the personal side of what Rushmore is all about, anybody watching it would.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, thankfully, like I did have some ties to him in terms of seeing him. I believe I want to say I saw him in college. I went to college for a long time, so I had a lot of opportunity to see basketball.
Me too. I'm still going to college, so there you go.
So I got to see him live, and and I remember him, growing up too. Like I think that was probably the tail end of when I stopped watching. But
nice.
He has the same vertical. He has 43-inch vertical is what it says online, which is the same as Nate Robinson, but Nate Robinson is like a foot less. So his 43 still puts him a foot and a half below where Vince
That's
not to mention like his proportions, right? He had really, really long arms too, if I recall. Like so he could,
So one of the things I saw in all the videos that they talked today was big hands, right? And like Jordan and Dr. J and all these guys and Vince, they were like having the bigger hand was able to hold that ball and do crazier things with it, right? Then it losing that grip. And so they talked a lot about that. But man, good pick. Yeah. Finish your mountain. So you roll with Vince is the GOAT. I feel it.
Yeah.
So Keith, where you heading? I'm kind of surprised, Keith. You're still hanging around the 80s and 90s and 2000s. So
It's not going to change again here on my on the GW part. I'm staying with Philly again. I'm going to go with another Rushmore. I'm going with Dr. J.
Yeah.
I mean, a player who I grew up. I mean, he was like the idol in Philadelphia. I mean, he was like a god in Philadelphia. Everyone he's still like a godlike figure when it comes to Sixers games. He just has an aura about him. And dunk innovator, really brought dunking to the forefront in the NBA. And I think probably arguably the prettiest dunk in NBA history against the Lakers, where he came in with a sweeping windmill over top Michael Cooper of the Lakers. And just the prettiest dunk there is. He sort of curled it and giant. I mean, he must have windmilled that thing for like 10 feet as he was sweeping across the court. And plus, even I have some clients that call me Dr. J. I'm not going to give my last name, but that's what they call me too. So I'm not as good as him. Yeah. So I don't think the NBA would be what it is today without him coming along and setting the groundwork for players like Jordan and Vince Carter.
Yeah. That's
So you're saying you're not known for your dunking, Keith, and that's not what
I think I am, but I have the rim at like 6 feet in my driveway.
Well, maybe you're dunking a cookie, but that's the only thing.
Hey, there's an art to that. There's an art. Not everyone can do it the right way.
Now, I remember there was a video out there that you guys were talking that you were kind of getting crashed on your height there, Keith, and you were trying to say you weren't as short as they make you say. Like you're taller in person than on TV. So and Nate Robinson can do it. You can do it too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I dunk in my driveway all the time, but we can lower and raise that rim. So it's like I do some crazy stuff out there.
It's one of the few
Vince Carter. He's the Vince Carter of his front yard.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need to see video. Look, that's a great short coming your way.
I do have video, but
get some of those brews in first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, man. Dr. J. I knew this was coming. Like it was it's one of those things. Like you can kind of peg some people from just their fandoms and whatever. I mean, if you know me, you've been around. I'm gonna pick Shaq. You know that. If you know me, I'm gonna pick Jordan. Those guys. But here in the Philly fandom, I kind of knew you guys were both probably. Julius Erving, and I have him on the list. He's just not my guy,
Yeah.
One, it's a little bit before me, so I didn't have any attachment in Philly. And two, as I moved on and became a fan, I was more that late 80s into the early 2000s. That's my window of really watching NBA, which is all that 96 2000 Olympic team guys, and so Irvin is paved the way for those guys, and so that's a good pick, man.
Even outside of his nickname, Dr. J, Julius Erving is just a great name.
It's a cool name, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Orange Julius, baby.
And go back to his early days, he had the giant afro. I mean, he had a lot of style too. He was a stylish guy.
And
we talked about that before being a Rushmore of hair.
Oh, right? There you go.
Yeah, we kind of talked about who has the best hair.
That'd be cool.
We did one on beards, but hair. He probably would make it. He had working at the car wash, man. It was good.
Yeah.
Hey, man, this is getting pretty depressing over here at the Saint. If you're a Saints fan,
I'm not even following.
Oh no,
I knew they're going to get destroyed. We have Bub Means as our top receiver tonight, so that's where we're at.
Yeah, never heard of Bub Means.
Mason Tipton and Bub.
Nor have we, but he did catch Rattler's first touchdown ever.
You got to get Michael Colston back. Remember that?
Yeah, we need.
That was my boy.
We had our top 4 Saints to open up sports. Colston was definitely on all the mountains. So, Andrew, Mr. Ricketts, you're up.
All right, here we go. When I'm thinking about dunkers, I can't help but do this. My George is the big Aristotle. I'm going with Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq, baby. Shaq. Shaq is the number one. I'm just saying, all I have to show is the man destroying the rim. The one when he pulls the whole thing down and like all the hydraulics just like there's no more dominant feeling than that happening. It's video game like, right? It's like you're playing the equivalent of NFL Blitz for basketball, right? This guy was the most dominant. And again, we're just talking in game, right? I mean, he's not a dunk contest guy, but everything you said before, Kirk, the 3-year span, the Lakers run with him. Again, I said before I didn't like LeBron. I'm rooting against him because he plays for the Lakers. This was a different Lakers at that point, with Kobe and with Shaq was just a great, you don't get that feeling of basketball anymore, I feel like. But I had family, all my family on my dad's side is from Southern California. So, which is why I'm a depressed Angels fan. But also, Lakers was just a great time, right? It was just entertaining basketball, and they've of course had things in their past. It's a storied franchise, but back to Shaq. This guy is the most dominant dunker. The one dunk where he dunks on, I forget what the guy's name was, but he dunks on him and then like shoves him after, and the guy throws the basketball back at him. It's like, dude, you're not going to do anything against Shaq. This guy's a rhinoceros. I mean, he's the most entertaining player of all time. My favorite player of all time for all the reasons we said, the commercials, the movies, the TV appearances. I mean, to your point, Kirk, you said, he's always at LSU games. Did you see this last one he was at? He didn't even say anything. There was just like this poor lady, like announcing, like, talking to the studio. And he just like comes in from the side, like and pokes his head in and gives the look, and he just backs away. And he's the best person ever. He is gold. But again, from a dunking standpoint, sheer dominance. He wants you to feel it. He wants you to know you dunked on him, and that's what he did. So, number one, the George, the best, my favorite. I'm going with Shaquille, the big Aristotle.
I closed my eyes for a second, and I thought that Shaq had actually joined the chat for a second.
I like to dunk the ball. And,
I like to dunk the ball. The big Aristotle. You know what I mean? Dale Brown found this guy. He was a military kid. Found him. Dale Brown was the greatest. And listen, we never won anything at LSU, but Dale Brown was like the greatest recruiter, and he was also a fantastic like public speaker and like motivator. And he talked Shaq into coming down. And I don't know how that team didn't win the Final Four with him. And we had Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, which was Chris Jackson back then.
Yeah.
We had Vernell Singleton. Dude, that team was so freaking powerful. And we lost, I think, in the Elite Eight. But yeah, I remember playing Tennessee that game so much, and then him just slamming and kind of just coming out flying over all those checkerboards. Dude, I love Shaq to death. That's my guy. Of course, and I kind of said it, but I don't know if y'all heard it. That's Deputy Sheriff Shaquille.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he's got like 5 masters. Like,
yeah, wow. I knew that.
Like he's just always getting. I'm sure a few are just honorary, but like
Shaq Fu.
Oh, Shaq Fu, the video game. Yeah,
he was even great in Curb Your Enthusiasm. I don't know if anyone's any Curb fan, but
he was also on Fu Schnickens. He was a rapper with Fu Schnickens. Don't forget that.
He was a genie at some point too. I mean, like,
Dude, I will tell you this: the videos of him as a DJ at a rave is some of my favorite things. It's just like it shows the crowd and it shows him like.
Hey, just throwing this out there, guys. If you ever want to have us on the show, we're looking at on your show. We're trying. Absolutely. We thought we've got to do one on national treasures, and I'm telling you, Shaq's on my list. Shaq's on my list. A national treasure, like just people, things, national treasure, dude.
Yeah, can go a lot of different ways with that. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. So anyways, that's a great pick. Well, look, hey, let me jump into mine. It's no surprise. Honey dip, man. We're going Vinsanity. We're going, Air Canada. That dunk, it's the greatest dunk in the history of in-game dunks. 2000, Frank Weiss. The guy felt his sweat in the wrong place over his face. It's insane. It is insane. I know we're a Christian channel. It's getting a little late, but boom, you go watch it. You understand what I'm saying. He leaped over the 7-foot dude. He's got the craziest handles, the craziest moves. I do want to share some of this. He's a top 25 scorer ever. He wasn't just the greatest dunker ever. He won. He was an 8-time All-Star. He played for like 9 teams. He had over 25,000 points. He won the 2000 Olympics. Some of the greatest dunks. He's a dunk champion, multiple dunk champion, I believe. I think he won 2. But the guy's just amazing. He put that. You mentioned it, but he put that Toronto Raptors jersey on the map. Right. Yes. And they couldn't win anything until Pedro Pascal and Pascal Siakam, all those guys come in and they weren't nothing as a team, but everybody they were prime time, even though they were losing 50 games a year because of Vince. Like people wanted to see the highlights. He made. So if you remember, this is something we haven't talked about. The highlight film in ESPN was a big deal. The top 10.
I see top 10.
Go during an NBA season without having him in the top 10 somewhere on just the craziness he was doing over people, behind the back, under the leg, around the. The honey dip was the one where he hangs and he sticks his whole arm in there. And he just hung like that. Like he's just the best dunker ever. I mean, to vintage Andy's point, I haven't really watched the dunk contest that much recently. I go back and rewatch them and see the highlights, but I'm not sitting there watching a whole dunk contest like it used to. Back in these days, you were watching it. It was prime time, like it was it, and he's one of those guys that made it that way. So, my George, very, very. Vince Carter, man.
So you're saying that Air Canada put his landing gear down a little early? Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Is that a way to put it? I think.
Sure did. Sure did.
I didn't pick that up right away. It took me a little while for that to sink in for me. Yeah. It was nice. Nice work.
Yeah. I mean, it like right over like this. Whatever.
That's got to be the tech. That's got to be the tech.
We've already talked about him. We've already talked about him. But hey, we're going to jump into our Benjamins. So if you guys haven't been around, and thank you, by the way. We've got like four subscribers, probably from your side of the family. Thanks for joining us. But we're not done. We have one more thing. This is actually more like your show, though, Andy and Keith. We're going to actually do a snake draft. Cool. And so we're going to go around. It's the same order that we're doing now, and we call it All About the Benjamins, and I'll tell you why in just a second. All right, so it is time for the Benjamins. We call Benjamins honorable mentions because something when we first started to do this show, I went looking and I was like, I wonder if anything was ever going to be added to the mountain. And they said maybe Benjamin Franklin. So we call our honorable mentions what just missed the mountain. And so this is how we get to throw a few more in just to celebrate some more people. And let's be honest, just to get some more really cool keywords in that algorithm. So here we go. We're going to chat about our honorable mentions. But here's the deal. We cannot crush more anymore. We cannot mention any guys we've already mentioned. These are going to be 4 unique, very much like your channel, list of what's left. And so it's kind of a bit of gamesmanship, kind of like you guys do. If you know that Keith is going to take something and you have a Philly guy, you might want to grab him early before he snatches them. So it's going to be here, same order. Andy, Keith, Andy, Kirk, and then it's Kirk, Andy, Keith, Andy, and vice versa. So So Andy, vintage Andy, you're going to get the first of the draft. and you're going to get the Brock Purdy of the draft. You're going to get Mr. Irrelevant. So you're up first.
Cool.
You don't have to go a whole lot into this. This is kind of like a rapid fire. Just a couple go out just before we get off the show.
Sounds good. I'll go with a guy that was briefly on Detroit for a little bit for a cup of coffee. Blake Griffin.
Dang it!
Yeah.
Blake had an awesome dunk where he threw it from about a mile away. That's one of my favorite dunks.
And I always wondered, is that a dunk if you elevate over and you throw it in? It's like cornhole,
I don't think it is, but
I don't think so either.
He's definitely on that list.
So that's great. That's my first.
All right.
Keith, you up, man?
I'm going to go a little more vintage pick, not super vintage, but one of the cooler nicknames back in the day. Not a power dunker, but a long range glider. Going Clyde the Glide Drexler.
Yeah,
definitely great dunker back in the day.
I just want to share something about Clyde. The very first time I saw him was in the 80s. He was probably his third year in. He looked like he was 60. He looks like the oldest player ever. I was like, what? How old is that guy? And he was really only 27 or something.
He came in with not a strong hairline, unfortunately.
He doesn't make that hair list of Rushmores. All right. Rev Ricketts, what you got?
No pain, no Rogaine. Here we go. All right. We are up. Where do I want to go? You took Blake Griffin off of my already short list. So I'm worried here. We got to mention this guy. I'm going to go Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard is
Superman.
Yeah, this the Superman 2.0 because Shaq's the real Superman. But yeah, Dwight Howard, dunk contest. Also, kind of a lot of his in-game stuff that I saw was alley-oops that we count as a dunk. You know what I mean? So it was powerful. And it was he's a big guy, but his dunk contest stuff is pretty impressive. So Dwight Howard.
I want to say he's the tallest dunk champion too. I think he's 6'10" or 6.
Yeah,
really
so I have the shortest and the tallest.
Right, you've evened yourself out. So.
I'm on average. I'm at about Vince Carter, 6'6".
Nice. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, there's still a lot of good picks left. I'm gonna go with probably the most iconic player that I have left because the other ones are kind of. They're great players, but not like this guy. R.I.P. I'm going Kobe Bryant with my first one left. Kobe won 1997 dunk contest as a rookie. Never really did it after that again. He really chased rings after that. I was never a Kobe fan because my nephew was a Kobe fan and I was a Shaq fan. And so it was always kind of whatever. But looking back now that I'm older and more refined, man, that guy he's definitely on the very short mountain of GOATs as far as NBA players go. And then I'm going to go with probably the best dunker around right now, and I'm going with Zach LaVine, who is a two-time champ and a part of that one contest that says might be the greatest contest ever. And he kind of, what they feel, robbed another guy that might come out on my list in a little while or anybody else's. So, but Zach LaVine, Kobe Bryant, I'm going to go with my next two picks.
All right, sweet. Well, let me pick the one that I think may get taken because again, it's gamesmanship here, and you took Kobe from me too. And I'm just
Kobe.
I'm dying over here. I'm going to go Tracy McGrady. T-Mac on my next pick on my bench.
Hey, just pause. There is any person that knows basketball. Every time I have a conversation when they talk about GOATs, T-Mac is always in that conversation. When people really are basketball fans, they're like, man, Jordan was this is not saying he's better than Jordan, but they're like, who was underrated and should be in the conversation? Tracy McGrady. And one of the reasons was because he was always on bad teams. And so that gets linked with him with that run with the Magic, and then he went to the Rockets, and they were pretty successful. One or two of those years was Rockets, but they always said he's one of the best ever. T-Mac. Yeah.
Nice.
I like
All right, so I'm going to go with a modern player. This guy, he was on trajectory to be one of the greatest in the game, but had some controversial issues pop up. But a power dunker for a smaller guy, I'm going John Morant.
Dang.
Really, how much power and height he can get from 6'2" and dunking over a big man.
He was better at shooting, to be honest. I mean, sorry.
I got what you're saying. Yeah.
Diamond in the rough right there.
That one.
Great in-game, probably right now the best in-game dunker around. Yep. He elevates over everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good pick. I like that one. Okay, so I got back-to-back here. This one, I might as well take him. This is probably one of my only kind of relatively new guys too. I'm gonna go with Aaron Gordon.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So I mean that was a battle. So that's Aaron Gordon on the newer side, and then I'll go with this is a tough one now. I'm gonna go with Jason Richardson.
That was my two next. All right, cool.
So
Jason Richardson, another back-to-back champ.
Yeah,
dude, and to me, he's the most underrated guy on this whole list.
Definitely, yeah, he's freak show in terms. Some of his dunks were just incredible. So
most underrated guy on this whole list for sure.
Yep.
All right, so Keith, you're up, third round.
Yeah, back to me. Another guy who played a long time, probably younger career. It was a much better dunker, but still a great dunker. I'm gonna go Russell Westbrook.
Oh, nice,
Mr. Triple Dub.
Yep.
Yeah. Not a huge fan of him, but I definitely appreciate him. Good pick.
All right, I'm going to go with the guy to get the Pelicans on the board. Give me Zion Williamson.
So
I'm going to go.
Just tell you,
also
Zion,
in college, we're going to get some.
When we drafted Zion, my envision was the next Shaq because I watched him, clips of him in high school, clips of him at Duke. He was doing Shaq things. Yeah. Except Shaq never got hurt as much as this dude. And look, I got his pop right there, right next to the other GOAT, Patrick Mahomes. He's right over there too. So had to throw that in there for you, Andy.
We almost made it. We made it almost 2 hours without any mention of Mahomes. It's a freaking basketball show, and we had to talk about it.
So Zion's a great pick. I kind of thought I might maybe snag him, but now I got 2 picks left, and you guys left me a few. So I know who I want to go with next for sure, because he's definitely probably not one that anybody will mention. I'm gonna go with another guy that literally short career because of injury. If he doesn't get hurt, he's probably in the GOAT conversation ever. I'm going with the other bull, Derrick Rose. Fantastic dunker. Doesn't get his props as much, but dude, just electric on the court. And then I'm going to go with another one. This is kind of an outside one. I always like to find those outsiders, but I saw this movie years ago, and it was a biopic of a good street baller, and I'm going with Earl the Goat Manigault. Out of dude, if you go look at this guy, it's Manigault, Gault. But they called him the GOAT, and he was a street baller, big into drugs, never made it in the show. But the old like in the documentary, the like old urban legend of him was that he would go up and take quarters or take a dollar bill off the top and leave change.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And this movie was awesome. It enlightened me on it. It's kind of like the Josh Gibson of basketball. Didn't get all his props, but way before his time. And just what made N1 basically what they are now, street balling. Going Earl Manigault.
Nice.
I had to look him up. I don't know. I'm not familiar with him, so I'll learn a little bit from this.
Earl the Goat Manigault. Here, I'll put it in the chat because most people probably, unless you kind of follow him. But yeah. So Keith, you're up.
Nope. No, it's me, right?
Back to Andy.
Right. Yeah, Andy, you're up.
Let's see, which way do I want to go here? I'm gonna go. Yeah, this is just, so we briefly mentioned the idea of doing a national treasures draft or whatever. In the basketball sense, this guy may have an argument to be that. He's kind of like fan loved, but coach hated. for TV purposes. I'm going to go J.R. Smith.
Oh, that was my other pick. That was my other pick. Good job. Thank you.
Yeah. J.R. Shirtless J.R. is a national.
Isaiah, don't call me J.R. Ryder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So J.R. Smith. Yeah. Bonehead plays, but some electric dunks in his career.
Yeah.
And,
Look, J.R. Smith was going to be kind of like that one like Hornet thing that I threw out there because I was really thinking about that.
Yeah.
For a small section of the Hornets, before CP3, before we got that draft pick, after we got there, they were terrible. I mean, all we had was like Birdman and Dan Dickow, for goodness sakes. We had JR was our first pick, kid out of high school. And that was the most fun watching him dunk, dude. Every time he dunked, the whole place would go crazy. But we'd be losing by like 70.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. I almost took J.R. Smith. I'm glad he went over to the Cavs and got him one. Dude, I like him. He's a good, and he always stayed in trouble. Fights. Yeah, he's not what I would consider a role model of any stretch.
He's an instigator for sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Cannon just brought me a picture.
Hold on, let me zoom you in real quick.
It's Mount Rushmore. Check that out.
Ah, cool.
Nice.
Hey, go to bed.
No.
Go to bed.
All right, Keith, you're up for your last pick, Keith.
Oh, it's my last one. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go big men. We're not a ton of big men on the list, but some of them deserve to be on there. And this, I think, the most athletic big man, a current player but the most athletic big man of all time, perhaps. I'm going Joel Embiid. I mean, he can do some things on the court that are pretty crazy for a big man.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think he was an MVP caliber player when he first got there, and man, he's like consistently in the conversation now.
Oh yeah, I mean he didn't play that long either. He didn't play as a kid, so he's like learning the game as he goes. But really an advanced player for 7-footer.
Yeah,
And he was always a star. But I was like these people are like he's in the MVP conversation every single year.
Yeah.
I think he's like the one player that's really kind of refined his game to match what players are doing now. Like when he came out, I don't think he was as good of a shooter or as good of a sort of anything as what he's consistently gotten better, I think.
Yeah. He had the Elijah line moves down low, but
that whole thing, man. 7 foot something shooting from the 3-point line. They all want to do it now. And they all are doing it, which is crazy because they didn't do it back then. I mean, we were talking about Shaq. Shaq couldn't even make a free throw. The Hack-a-Shaq was involved, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have Mr. Irrelevant, all of the rest of the players in NBA history, an exclusive club of dunkers on this episode of the Rushmore Show. Who's your Brock Purdy? Who's your last pick of your Benjamins?
Well, he may be Mr. Irrelevant to everybody, but I remember him not growing up really, but in college, he went to Maryland. That's Stevie Franchise, aka Steve Francis. So he was not a
franchise.
He had some issues, or not really issues, injuries and stuff. But he was a number 3 pick coming out. Yeah. He's a number 3 pick. Yeah.
You want to talk about cool jerseys? Those Rocket jerseys, those pinstripes with the crazy, those are awesome too.
Yeah,
that was kind of
the 90s for the NBA jersey.
That was in that Raptor Grizzlies time frame. Yeah.
The Magic throwback ones with the.
It's funny, Andy's that you love that because Andy is typical Penn State, Alabama are the greatest uniforms ever, and that shocks you. Like
it works in basketball. What I do hate about basketball jerseys now is when like the Lakers have like a powder blue one, and I'm like, what team am I even watching?
Yeah, the city edition jerseys. Yeah,
or like the city edition. Yeah, where it's like all. It's like why are we doing this?
Yeah,
it's all money, and I understand, but I digress. Great picks.
There, guys. What a great show.
Yeah.
Dunkers. And we got all the way through without drafting Oreo cookies or Dunkaroos or any of that.
I didn't think about it.
Greatest NBA dunkers. All of them are NBA except for Earl. I had some WNBA. I even looked at some And One. I was looking at Globetrotters. I was trying to get anything else in there. But yeah, I love these picks, man. We did a good job. We mentioned the best of the best, man, and I don't think we left anything else on the table. There's a few. My list is I mean, it's next level guys. After that, I mean, we said almost all of them, and so Keith first, and Andy, thank you for being on the show. We anytime I see your show live on a Wednesday, I'll tell you this. When I start logging in on your show, I'm usually in line picking my daughter up from Wednesday night church, and I'm waiting in a long line, and that's when I log in, and then we kind of watch it all the way home, and then I'll start putting my picks in by that time, and the show's almost over by the time we get there. But love watching the show. For everybody out there that has made it this far, go check their show out. They did a couple different things. If you like vintage sports memorabilia, if you like cards ripping, if you like just drafts like we do, if you like our show, you would love their show. And go check them out. They always have a guest on as well, most of the time, and they have a great community in the chat. You might be able to win some prizes every once in a while, and then you get to see Keith kind of go check out the flea markets and stuff. So, hey guys, tell our fans, we call them the Summit Squad, where they can find you. Maybe what's your next couple episodes you got coming up going, and then we'll tell everybody good night.
All right. Sounds good. So yeah, my main channel, Vintage Sport Flips. Every Saturday, 1 p.m. I have a picking video that comes out, either me at yard sales or flea markets, hunting for vintage sports items, cards, pop culture stuff. It's not always sports. And I show you what I'm selling it for, what I sold it for, perhaps. So you learn a little bit if people like that kind of stuff. And then on that same channel, Vintage Sport Flips, what Kirk was talking about is our Wednesday night live podcast, just called Pastime Picks Podcast. We alternate between a sports draft and a non-sports draft. Like last week, we did our favorite dumb TV characters.
I loved that episode, by the way. So I watched
Thanks,
it
man.
today, and I did comment my draft, but I only picked undrafted free agents. So
that was a good list. That was a good list. I did see it. Yeah, absolutely. And we'd have a giveaway every week in that chat, fun chat. We have probably like 10, 15 people every week. So it's always a fun time. So definitely come hang out. And then if you want to tell them about our other channel, our new channel.
Yeah, then our somewhat new channel. It's been up for a little bit with Rips and Brews. So we, review a beer that we try. Most of the time we haven't tried it before. So we kind of give it a taste test and see if we like it or not. And then we open a pack of cards or a box or a couple different things, blaster boxes, some old, some new. It's kind of fun. And those are obviously not live or anything like that, but you can check those out. I'm not sure when you put those out, but
Thursday, 7:30 came out earlier tonight. And by the way, congrats on your sobriety, guys. That's awesome. We're not like pounding a bunch of beers. We probably finish a quarter of a beer and we just give our review of the flavor. So
I've watched the show. I've definitely watched the show. And look, and I am not anti-drinking. Like I'm not the guy. I'm anti-drinking for me in this house. But man, if you watched last week, my two best friends, they usually come on drinking. So it is what it is. Not kind of bashing, but I appreciate that. It's a big part of our story. And how we got here. We weren't always Christian, to be honest. We weren't always doing the right thing. And I wish, looking back, that I wish that there was an opportunity that I could, hang out with people and enjoy, those kind of things like my friends do. But I just know it's a dangerous, slippery slope for me. So I avoid it. I know Andy avoids it as well. My wife is also sober for that many years. So that's a big part of it. And I appreciate that. But yeah, I would always celebrate your show, even that one. It's a great, fun little thing. I love the one where you, because we are talking Rushmore here, y'all opened like a vintage, or not, it wasn't a vintage pack, but it was like a box of like presidents and things like that, like Constitution and all these other like crazy cards that you had. And they had like pieces of historical history all up in it. And I was like, man, these cards are cool. I should open
cool. We had a video come out last week with our buddy Soda City Rips, who was a guest on that channel, and we pulled some cool stuff. This was a like a card with a Roman coin on it.
Yeah.
So let's do it. So it's pretty cool stuff.
It's actually called Pieces of the Past.
Yeah,
you almost said it. But probably just describing it. That's probably how they came up with the idea. But yeah.
Yep. So yeah, we do. It's not all sports over there. We do non-sports as well. So it's a fun channel.
Yeah, and I was kind of showing there it is. This is what vintage sport flip looks like. This is a little magnet they sent us when I won my my cards. I like Cannon and I opened them on a thing. Speaking of that, if you guys are out there, you like video games and you like card ripping, that's what Cannon does. That's my son's show, Retro Cannon. You can check him out. But we did the opening for that. Well, look, that's our show tonight, man. We just passed the 2-hour mark. We appreciate everybody that's in the chat, the 4 folks hanging out with us all the way to the end. This has been a fun ride. I posted out there on Instagram exactly to the minute when we got that 1,000. Ironically, we got 1,000 5 different times, Andy, before it finally stuck. We 5 different times we passed 1,000 and dropped, passed it, dropped. We got all the way up to 1,009, dropped. Like YouTube is just like, nah, we're not going to give you those. You're going to do it again. And we persevered. I think we're there now. I don't think we're going to lose these guys. I think we're finally over that hump. So we appreciate that. We are chasing those watch hours now. And you know what? Honestly, we don't even care about getting monetized. It's all about the community. The monetization is just a little something extra to keep the show going. So like we can kind of help. But if we never get monetized, we are always surprised that even 4 people would want to log in and watch our show and have a good time. Let me just share what's coming up next, and then we'll get out of here. Next week, we have Vogs on the show. We're going to do top 4 stadiums, arenas, and it's going to be a little later show, not much later, just maybe a half an hour later, because Vogs is going to be getting off of work, and he's going to be flying in to basically get on that show. He was on a couple weeks back. And then we're going to jump into food. We are booking those guys now. I literally have 5 guys in mind that said they want to be on the show, but we have not nailed any times down. So as soon as that comes out, you'll get our next group of what we're doing. Andy is out on a mission trip first 2 weeks of November. So it will be me as Han Solo and looking for my Chewie to come on over and do some food. We're going to talk about potato chips and sauces and wings and whatever you guys want to talk. I always let the guests pick the topic to an extent, and then we'll go from there. If anybody wants to be on the show, hit us up on Instagram. That's the best way. Well, we didn't even do that all week. We didn't do that the whole show. I'll drop them right now and scroll. But here's all our socials down below that you can hit up in the Discord, our Instagram, whatever. If you want to be on the show, we'd love to have you, especially if you're a creator. We'd love to share your stuff and be a part of your community and welcome you to ours. And then video games is coming up in January and February. Music is March, April. May and June is movies and TV. July, August is always nostalgia. And then back September, October will be sports again and food to end the year. We are excited to go into our 4th year. Andy, it's been a blast, dude. Thank you for being on our show, guys. And we're going to be there in your support as much as we can. The one almost tiresome thing about YouTube is almost feeling like you have to keep up with all these amazing shows. And I've just come to grips where it's like, I'm going to set you on and I'm going to catch you. And I always catch you in the replay and send a comment. Being a creator is not easy. So I applaud what you guys are doing, multiple channels. And I applaud, you guys have multiple success. So great community. Everybody go over there and check that out.
Thanks, man.
So appreciate that, man, so much.
Yeah, Andy, thanks for having us.
Andy Ricketts, Mr. Rev, time to go home.
It is time to go home. It's time to say
goodnight. This miserable football game until I go to sleep.
I'm not watching anymore. The Saints are getting booed off the field. I mean, that's where we're at this season.
Well, here's the good news: the Chiefs aren't off anymore, and they're back. So there you go.
I'm pulling for the Lions. The Lions are my team this year. We're going for Dan Campbell all the way, baby.
There's plenty of room on the bus.
Yeah, Dan Campbell might be a national treasure. He might just be a national treasure.
Speaking of Dan Campbell, we did football guys, just a little short whatever, and Dan Campbell was mentioned twice.
Yeah,
as a football
he's
guy.
all 4 of my picks. He's the football guy.
That's great. All right,
Anyway,
man. Tell everybody good night.
Let's end this thing. Let's say goodnight like we always do. This is the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top 4
and nothing
more.
Peace.
Peace.